Servant leadership is a choice to do what is right and truly serve those who work for you. Servant leaders emphasize their role as a steward of human resources and encourage those members of an organization to serve others while staying focused on achieving results in line with the organization's values and integrity. Our organization has embraced the concept of servant leadership. Despite the overwhelming support for this concept, many formal leaders in our organization struggle with it. Please tell us what servant leadership means to you.
Well, the concept of servant leadership, this is a sort of a new name for something that's been around for a long time. I like the way it's formatted now. I think the concept is a little clearer and it's a little easier to work with. Essentially what it means is I, as your department head, serve the people directly beneath me. And in doing that, then they serve the people below them and then on down the chain. So that we bring to you, we deliver to you the things that we know and understand and our experience and our talents and our skills so that you can pick those things up and work your way up the chain. I think that's the basic concept for servant leadership. I think it's an excellent idea. I think it's a great concept. When it's applied properly and it's followed, because it takes a little while for everybody to get in line with something like that. It's a little bit different than some of the other leadership styles that have been put into place, certainly in the county over the last 25 or so years. But I think it's very, very workable, particularly in an organization this size, because you do have a lot of people in the chain of command. And they are the people that are going to serve you if you're at the street level or if you're at the sergeant's level. That's the way the whole thing comes together, and it works very well.
And a follow-up question. How would you work with the formal leaders to help them better understand if they seem to be struggling with this concept?
Well, I think it's all about education and training. And if I would think that the command staff, the formal staff, is that what you're saying, formal?
Yes.
I would think if they really understand it, they would probably embrace it because it's a very fluid way of working. And I would just impress upon them, and I would continue to, hopefully, to educate them to the point that they felt comfortable in doing it. Short of whipping, of course.
We believe relationships are everything when it comes to achieving success as an organization. Although we don't always agree on everything, the DSA has enjoyed a positive relationship with the sheriff. If elected, what would you do to build and strengthen this relationship?
Well, relationships are built on trust, and that's where it's got to start. If I can impart to you the trust that I expect from you, then you're going to learn to expect the same trust from me. And the command staff need to instill in you that same level of trust. And in order to make the whole thing come together and build relationship, you have to have the whole organization on sort of the same plane. One of the things that I've suggested earlier in these meetings, some years ago, some of you remember these, in July there's a barbecue with all of law enforcement held at a great place up in the north end of the county. And the Sheriff's Department sort of fostered that whole project. It built the best network of all law enforcement in this entire county. It was sort of billed as being something for the retirees from law enforcement in every department, but there were as many current employed people as there were people that were retired, and it was a once a year event, and it started in the light and it ended in the dark, and it was the greatest thing for everybody touching base with everybody and everybody being on the same plane. I mean, the chiefs were there, the sheriff was there, all the command staff from this department were there, and the ones that weren't working. And it was a great way for all of the people in this county to build that same level of interest and trust and knowing families and meeting wives and kids. And I mean, those kinds of things can make a huge difference in the whole relationship. I'm not suggesting that we have a barbecue once a month, but those kinds of things are the best way that I know to bring everybody up to the same place.
Our lives are becoming more increasingly busy, and we all have to strive to achieve a balance between work, family, and leisure time. We understand the important and constant nature of our business. However, we believe it is possible to provide employees with a reasonable amount of security when scheduling for work. Fixed schedules contribute to a sense of stability and create a platform upon which we can achieve that elusive balance between work and the rest of our lives. What are your feelings on providing such stability, and are you committed to resolve scheduling issues as they come?
Yes, is the answer to the second half of that. Very much so. Scheduling can make or break the morale in the department, and certainly it's nightmarish at this level because there are so many people involved and so many different departments and divisions within it. In order to bring that to a level that everybody's comfortable, I think the only way for the whole thing to work is for the DSA to come up with the best formulation that they have and bring it in and sit down with us in the command division and work it out. I mean, we're all in this together. Nobody's getting out of here alive. And the best way to do it is to sit down and say, all right, if it's going to be about seniority, and that's coming up to the next question, if it's going to be about seniority, then let's talk about seniority. If there's a reason that enough of you feel that seniority isn't in it, all right, then let's talk about that. But I'm absolutely certain now in this kind of a department, if you don't have the kind of scheduling safety that you need so that you know you can plan 4 months ahead or 3 months ahead or 6 months ahead, whatever your shift rotation is, absolutely it has to be done that way.
Okay. Our members care deeply about seniority as an objective means of determining many of the variables of our organization, such as schedule, assignment, and the distribution of overtime. When we cannot agree on seniority as a deciding factor on these variables, we believe a written policy would take the subjectivity out of the process and eliminate hard feelings between employees. Do you support this concept? Why or why not?
Yeah, I do. I think, yes, I think is a better answer. PNPs are really good. They provide a lot of structure, but they're also dangerous. In something like this, I think this needs to be in writing. And I think the way to accomplish that, again, just like I was saying a minute ago, let's sit down. You put together what you think is the right way to do it. Absolutely, seniority is a top priority. You can't come into an organization and expect to get weekends off and work 8 to 3. You've got to work your way to the top. You have to earn your stripes. If you want to rotate out of one division into another, you've got to show your mettle before you can get there. And so I totally support that whole thing. And in order to make this thing work in today's culture, the way the county is structured, if you don't have it in writing, I don't think you're going to make it happen.